Well, that was interesting.
Hello.
Hey, Danielle, how are you?
Great, how are you?
All right, so let's get this started. I opened it and then it shut down, but now we're back.
Cool.
So let me do a little proper introduction just in case it actually records, and then we'll go from there. So welcome to Blab, the Diabetes Podcast Week Blab. Blab is a new social media platform for me, and it's an interesting one. We're going to have some folks here to talk about their podcasts and about Diabetes Podcast Week. And hopefully we'll have enough people joining us that we'll be able to rotate these 4 Brady Bunch type seats, and we can all look around and have some fun. And my hope is to, if we do have enough people join us, is to have each host have a good 10 minutes to talk about their podcast, who they are, what they do, and why they do it. So, Stephen, can you hear us? I see you're just joining. While we wait for Stephen to arrive, and we do have one more open seat. Danielle, you are Diabetes Dominator. Welcome. It's so cool to see you. Tell me about what your show is all about. I know you don't have a podcast. You do a lot of videos, though, so we want to put you in the fold. What's your, what is Diabetes Dominator all about?
Well, for me, for my interview series, I'll have a little feedback here. I'm going to put myself down so I hear myself. So my interview series is based around highlighting as many positive influences in the diabetes community as possible to kind of show that, you know, I'm not out there thriving with diabetes alone. There are many, many other people out there thriving with diabetes from all ages and walks of life and backgrounds, and I just want to highlight them so that other people out there in the diabetes community, because there are so millions of us out there, can kind of find somebody that they vibe with and latch onto. I want people to know that living with diabetes should never be the reason why you don't chase after your dreams, follow your passions, live the life that you desire. I don't think diabetes should ever be something that holds you back from that. So that's what I
love it.
Blog about. I don't have a podcast. It's in the works. Sometime I'd like to get one, but I think I do a lot of things, and sometimes I get a little overzealous.
All right, I'm hearing a lot. Unfortunately, the audio is really spotty, Danielle. So, and your cat just walked by. Cute.
Yeah, she does.
So stand by 1 second. I know Scott from Arden's Day from the Juicebox podcast is here someplace. Scott, all you do is click one of the open seats, and you can join us if you see it. And Steven says he's here, but he can't hear too well. Yeah. So this is basically like my first day on radio, way back when we were trying to figure out what the heck we were doing. But no doubt, right? Do you have a microphone, or do you just use the microphone on your computer?
I'm just using a webcam. It's a Logitech webcam. I use it for all my interviews and stuff, so it usually does pretty well.
I see you beautifully. It's the audio. Oops. Okay. See people blopping in. I do have here, Stephen. I'm going to block you off just for now. I'm kicking you out. Try to reconnect. There's an open seat. If there's anybody who sees that open seat, Stephen, if you want to try to reconnect, that might help.
My husband's throwing headphones. It might help.
Oh, geez.
Such a good husband.
All right, we have. I think Bennett Dunlap is about to join us. There's a lovely lag here on Blab. I should probably not introduce anyone until I see them.
Is that any better? I still hear the feedback.
You probably hear us beautifully, but we don't hear you that much better. I think it's more a mic issue. Hey, Bennett.
Hey, Bennett.
Hi there.
How are
Can
you?
you hear me?
We can hear you beautifully. By the way, don't you love my beautiful background? I tape my podcast in a bonus room in my home, and I realized as I set the lab up that my background is like laundry and stuff, and so I moved it around. I hope you can see everything okay. But Bennett, what I'm trying to do is have people introduce themselves and talk about their podcasts and why they do it. So why don't you tell us a little bit? Your podcast recently has had a name change and a little bit more. What's going on?
It did, and in fact, it changed today, and I'm not sure I know what it changed to. I also have no idea if this is working or not. So
it's working beautifully. We can see you and we hear you very nicely.
I just got a text message from my partner in crime, Lorraine Sisto, and she said, try to join this. So I did. I do feel a little bit like the Brady Bunch.
That's what I said. It's like, oh, looking around.
So yeah, we were part of the podcast that was formerly known as DSMA Live, and now it's called Diabetes Out Loud. Part of the name change was to be more clear about what we're doing. DSMA is well known to people that are part of that Twitter process, but if you are out searching for something, if you were new, you might not find it. So we decided to call it Diabetes Out Loud, and we're going to sort of merge what are a couple of podcasts into one group podcast. So a lot of us will host at different times and on different topics, and in that way maybe be a little more diverse.
Very cool. Oh, it was great to see that today. I had to change. Oh, I have a bad echo. Bennett, are you hearing my echo?
I am not hearing your
echo. Okay, good.
I was hearing Danielle's, though, but maybe I should bail and let somebody else jump in.
We have an open seat right now, so hang on one second.
I see Steven keeps trying to join. I feel so bad. I see him pop up and he goes away.
It's blocked by a firewall.
Yeah, I kind of had to go through a couple of things and use different browsers. And
I got right in. I don't know what your problem is.
Well, I'm an idiot, and you guys aren't.
Yeah, I know exactly what. That's why my computer is tilted where the lighting is really bad. So you can, because I was really prepared for video. All right. Oh, and by the way, those little hands on the bottom of your square, other people can click to give you like props, like, yay, I liked what I hear. You're so cool. Scott's got a beard. Podcast. Oh, Scott, you got the fancy cans on.
What's going on?
Hey, dude.
Can you hear me at all? What's happening?
Yeah, I hear you loud and clear. I put on my little petite headphones when I'm on video. I don't like my giant radio headphones on.
So they're just 4 people are allowed in at one time?
Only 4 people, so we're going to kick people out and let others in.
I'm going to kick myself out, and maybe Lorraine can jump in.
Okay, but
yeah, you can kick me out too whenever you're ready.
But I can finally hear you. All right, well, Danielle, stick around. We'll bring you. We'll bring you back. Actually, Scott, stand by. Danielle, now that we can hear you a little bit better, why don't you just explain again, if you don't mind, like what you really are looking for, what you hope people will find when they see your videos.
Absolutely. So I started my interview series. Like I said, I'm not really podcasting yet, but I've been vlogging for quite a while now. I'm inching up on my 50th interview at this point, which is pretty exciting. So I really decided to start doing that so that I could provide as many positive role models for the diabetes online community as possible. As myself going through a big personal health transformation after 25 years of diabetes, I'd like to show people that you can be on one side of the fence and then you can get over that fence and live the life that you desire. Diabetes is not a way or a reason to not live the life that you imagined. Passion and happiness and health involved.
I love it. Thank you so much.
That's way too far out for me. Goodbye, Danielle.
Danielle, I'll talk to you soon. Just stick around, though, because maybe you can pop back on.
Absolutely. Really thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you so much for sticking with this. Okay, so we're kicking her out. We're going to welcome Lorraine in just a moment. But hey, Scott, how are you?
Stacey, that poor woman just got kicked out. But so she can still hear or no?
Well, if she's still on, Lorraine.
So, looks confused. Hey, Arden.
Hey, Arden. Oh, you're famous, Arden. I don't know Blab well enough, Scott. This is my second time on Blab and my first time hosting it. My understanding is that if Danielle didn't go away, just like Scott, excuse me, not Scott, you're Scott, Stephen is standing by on the side. And he's got Diabetes by the Numbers is his podcast, and we'll try to get to him. But he says every time he comes on, the audio cuts out. So if you look to the right of the Brady Bunch square, you should see messages and mentions. So as a listener or, as a viewer, if you're not going to pop in, you can ask questions. So a lot of blabs, I guess this is the worst name for a social media thing, but a lot of blabs are just 4 people talking. They don't allow other people in, but it's kind of like a radio talk show where the callers would just post questions on the right-hand side. So it's a really cool way to do things. Tonight, I thought we'd rotate, if we had enough people to come through. So
right.
That's that.
That's interesting. I'm enjoying this. This is very.
Well, let's talk to you.
Oh, God.
What's that?
I'm next. I was going to say hi to Lorraine, but are you going to go ahead? I'm taking over. I don't mean to.
Hi, Lorraine. You're not taking over. Don't worry.
Okay.
Hey, Lorraine. Okay, we can't hear you, Lorraine.
Haha.
All right, so Scott gets to go. Scott, I think a lot of people are probably familiar with you and Arden.
I don't imagine.
You chased poor Lorraine away. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your podcast, why you started it, and what you hope to accomplish?
Oh, geez. I started the podcast because I thought that blogs weren't being read as much, and I wanted to keep my blog going. And I saw people being helped by what was happening on the blog, and I was trying to reach people in a more convenient and, I guess, reasonable way. Apparently, reading doesn't work for people anymore, and so I thought this would be a nice idea, and I see it's working, and I'm getting back great feedback, and we're just kind of sharing how we managed with Arden's type 1, and some other people are picking up on it. I actually just heard from a woman today who is my episode that just went up last week. I met her, Bethany, about 4 months ago, and I shared a couple of small ideas about how we managed with Arden's diabetes, and she messaged me today, and her son's A1C was 5.6, and he had three minor lows in the 3 months, so it's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. I listened to it. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, plus we try to do interviews when we can. Like I've got like Sam Fold coming up. He's the center fielder for the Oakland A's and stuff like that. So that's it.
That's cool. Hey, I'm talking to Sam too. We better coordinate when we release those episodes.
Nice.
Pitchers and catchers reporting?
I don't know.
You don't do a news. You don't do it.
Whenever it fits. I know at the end of my podcast when people hear me go, maybe next week I'll do this one. I'm literally just thinking the ones that are recorded. I'm like, I wonder which one would go better next week. So it's not that well thought out.
Scott and I talk off the air. We're both parents of kids with type 1. We have similar mindsets that way, probably similar audiences, but different ways of looking at podcasting, and we amuse each other, I think. I mean, I know you laugh at me, so, we have a good time. Yeah. See,
I have gray in my beard. Look at this. I had no idea about this. So I have to shave that beard off.
That's why radio is better than television, my friend.
Well, no, now I'm going to be covering my face. So anyway, that's it. If anybody's listening, please check out the podcast.
Of course. Lorraine, can you hear us now? Don't go anywhere. Oh, we still can't hear you.
Lorraine is mute. Hold on. What do I do if there's so much stuff to click on.
Yeah, click on the little hands. Yay!
Yeah, it's like a clicking frenzy.
Okay, Lorraine, get one of your kids to help you with your computer. Do you have a little mute button? Like on the top, is the mute button pressed? No. Wait. Oh, wait. Are you using FF or Chrome is one of the questions. I'm using Chrome.
I'm in Chrome too. I tried Safari. It didn't want to let me.
Firefox. So technically minded. Well, let's take this momentary pause to mention that Diabetes Pod. What are you looking at, Scott?
Arden. I'm not sure what she's doing. What are you doing?
Well, she's off camera.
Stacey is talking. Stop it.
Yeah.
You're what? Get out here. Stop it.
Just to mention that Diabetes Podcast Week is also to benefit Spare a Rose. So everybody who's participating in Deep Podcast Week is not only kind of helping raise the profile of podcasts and podcasters in the diabetes community, but also to spread the word about Spare a Rose, which is a great way between now and Valentine's Day to raise money to help kids who have diabetes in the developing world who don't have access to insulin and supplies. You all that I'm talking to know what this is, but we've all put on our websites or within our podcasts information because this charity is so worthwhile. It's the International Diabetes Federation. And Bennett and Lorraine have gone. They're walking back and forth. Oh, Bennett, I'm so glad you brought the pants. Okay, so Bennett is a Disney fanatic. One of his children was diagnosed while at a trip to Disney World. It was the second child, and they didn't come home because they knew what they were doing.
Was I supposed to bring underwear with me? What is going on?
That face was worth the attention right there.
Bennett, I will let you explain are those leggings? Are they tights?
These are tights.
Put them on.
Somebody posted.
All right, I'm kicking Lorraine out though for a minute so someone else can join.
A picture of Disney World tights I think it was Carrie, and made a joke about it. And I said, if enough people sign up for ongoing, the monthly give to Spare a Rose, I will wear these bad boys or girls, depending on your point of view, to the banquet at Friends for Life in July.
And you are definitely going to have to do that. I think people are going to be very excited.
If we could get maybe a dozen people each of the first 3 days to do an ongoing gift, that would be enough. And these are quality. Look, it's got Frontierland right there on the front. And I posted a picture of them, and Carrie Sparling said, look, right down here in the crotch, there's restrooms.
Wouldn't it have been odd if they put Frontierland on the back?
I have so many inappropriate.
I can learn that way. If you can get enough contributions.
Bennett, where's Big Thunder Mountain?
What are you doing?
All night.
What are you doing?
Is Arden still in the room?
She can't.
Liberty Square.
What's that? Liberty Square.
That's what's on the back. That's good.
Those are fantastic. I am going to put a picture. Bennett's got a great picture on his Facebook page of the pants, and we'll put those out on Diabetes Connections on Facebook as well. Bennett, you haven't modeled the pants though, right? You're just holding them up in all the pictures.
No way. That's the embarrassing part.
That's the payoff.
Spare a Rose gets paid.
Are there lights on it or something, or so it's just wishful thinking? I made that up. Does it light up? I thought I read that. That's a different pair of pants, apparently.
No, the pants do not light up, but for enough money, I'll have my daughter sew lights onto them.
Yeah.
She's a cosplayer. We can do it.
All right. That sounds excellent.
Scott's just got this bewildered look on his face. It's the best thing.
I'll tell you why. It's because Scott has yet to listen to you or me on our podcast.
Shh, I've heard Bennett when I'm on. That's not fair.
So he doesn't know your sense of humor, my friend.
Scott knows me well.
Bennett and I know each other. We're okay. We know what's going on. I'm making this face because I have a lot of laundry to fold, so I can't. He's talking about his pants, and I got to get upstairs. At this moment, can't go to bed.
This is a good time to point out, Scott, you are a stay-at-home dad.
I am.
And
yes.
much of this started because you were Arden's primary caregiver, and you blogged and shared a lot about that in the early days. Can you take? Yeah, there it. Life is short. Laundry's eternal. He's getting.
This is how if I'm selling books like this, Bennett, I'm in trouble. And so,
but tell me a little bit about what happened, because this is not something that you set out to do. You were home with the kids.
No, really, I thought that. God, it was almost 9 years ago, and I thought, I just wanted to I wanted to be an advocate for people with diabetes. And I thought it started out with emailing people about things. And I was like, this is not an effective way to reach people. And I saw this piece of software on my computer called iWeb back in a long time ago. And it said that I could put my thoughts on the internet. I was like, all right. So I did that. And then about a month later, I get an email from a woman in England. She's like, I read your blog. And I was reading the email and I thought, I don't have a blog. What is she talking about? But it turned out I did. And it just kind of grew from there and did well. And it's continued to get, it's a pretty popular blog at this point. So I just noticed it helping people, and you get feedback from people. And then I just wanted to do more. And, and the podcast seemed like a good way to do it. So, I have the information I have because I am with my daughter, in one way or another, 24 hours a day, basically. So that's pretty much it.
That's great. Yeah. Stephen, can you hear us? Uh-oh, he can see us. Yes, no?
You can't tell I'm staring at him.
Oh, all right. We're going to let him hang out for just a moment. I think what happens when Stephen pops in is his audio pops out. I think he's frozen. Let's click him off and click him back on.
Yeah, where he's insanely still, one or the other.
Stephen is hidden. How does Stephen unhide himself? This person is very helpful who's sending these little messages on the side. I'm Morpheus. Thank you. How do we unhide him?
Every time I see the camera goes on, the audio breaks up, Stephen says.
Okay, Bennett, while you're here, let's talk a little bit more Spare a Rose. because this is my podcast episode tomorrow explaining how this came to be. And then we rip off NPR from Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me, and we play all sorts of goofy games. It was so much fun. We had so much fun. We did Bluff the Listener. We did a news quiz. Nice shirt. Talk a little, if you could, about Sparrows, about how it's going this year so far. This is the 4th year.
Yeah, well, we won't know till tomorrow. Hopefully tomorrow morning we get numbers from IDF, and they say it was our best first day ever. To make that happen, people can go to www.sparearose, all one word, .org, and click Give. And PayPal will take money from you and give it directly to IDF. They don't let me get anywhere near the money in that process, which is sound financial policy. And the money goes to help kids in developing countries who have type 1 and where the burden of type 1 would be so high that maybe the family literally couldn't afford its choice of care or food. One of the things we're doing this year is every day at the Sparrows site, there's going to be a new kid featured or a kid's art featured. Today's was a quote from a young man, a boy in Africa, and it's a real touching quote where he said, he talks about they set up camps, so they go for one day to a little diabetes camp in their country, and he talks about how important it is to be not alone with his diabetes. And it is so parallel to everything we hear in all the diabetes social media, online in the first world, that, it's easy to forget that the same psychosocial issues exist everywhere, that type 1 can be very isolating, particularly, when the cost of insulin is what it would cost to feed your family or something like that. So super stuff. He's just the first. We have a new one coming up every day. There's some amazing art. We saw this at the IDF's conference in Vancouver. They had a bunch of this art up, and we reached out to them, and they were very kind in getting us some really cool pictures and stories, and they're going to come up every day. And it's just a way of staying excited and having something new to talk about for the 14 days of this very short 2-week program. Since its inception 3 years ago, I think we've raised over $55,000 to help kids in the developing world. And what IDF tells us is a $5 contribution keeps a kid alive for a month.
Wow.
And part of that is because they're buying regular insulins that are produced. It's not the analogs that are produced and for sale here. Right. It's regular insulin. Part of it is they get donations of insulin, and their costs are in distribution. It's just a super fantastic program started by IDF and a group, I think, out of Australia. I don't even know the origin of it. And Jeff Hitchcock and a couple of people were sitting around at a meeting that was on social media for social good. Carrie, Manny, Kelly Close, Adam Brown. And Jeff kicked this idea up of, well, let's do something for these kids. And then very rapidly, the idea of Valentine's Day. I think this was in mid-January 3 years ago. And we said, well, let's do something for Valentine's Day. Before the day had ended, we bought the domain name and kind of come up with a campaign. And I think it was 10 days from inception, from the idea to inception of the program. And I believe we raised $3,000 or $4,000 the first year. It's taken off since then. And if we can get people like Scott that have a lot of readers to share it with their readers, that's great. This is everybody's program. It's not Jeff. It's not me. It's not Carrie. It's not Stacey, Scott, Lorraine, anybody. It's everybody's opportunity to help out a kid that might not get help otherwise. And I think all of us that are parents can't fathom what it would be like to not be able to get insulin for our kids.
It's unbelievable to think about. I keep hearing what sounds to me like a doorbell. Are there more?
That's probably my text messages going off. Sorry.
Oh, really? I keep thinking people are wanting to join. If there's anyone who wants to join in, I see there are a few people here. Don't show me your text. It's like
I'm turning it off.
Okay, I saw your pants already. We don't even,
Well, they were off.
If you want to,
that sounds terrible. I'm gonna get it called.
Come on, it's not that kind of show. We have an open seat. If anybody wants to click in, you just click, and I will let you in.
Hey,
and
Arden.
It's pretty simple.
Sorry, bolus 0.60, please.
Well, and the subject of bolus worthiness, I have to go cook dinner, so I'm going to say goodbye to you all.
Okay, wait. Before you go, I have a quick question for you. Are you in your house with a bike behind you? It looks like you're by like this old red cabinet
this is
or
my
cabinet
old bike, and when I'm doing emails, I can just step up here and ride away on my bike.
So you're inside. Okay.
See, because of the
clappy thing.
Because of the window frame, it almost looks like your desk is out on your patio.
That's what I was trying to figure out.
What a coincidence! Yeah. My office used to be a patio, and I closed it. And
I kept expecting someone to take a pie and put it in the window.
So that's like the other window we made into a door. It's over that way.
All right.
Welcome to my home.
I'm gonna clean this room up before we.
Yeah, I can't show
I got
you what's
laundry
behind.
and a treadmill. Yeah.
There's stuff behind me. I'm sure Kelly's planning on doing scrapbooking with one day. She tells me, but I think she bought it like 9 years ago.
I have to work so you can buy.
I don't know why I picked the Strip Safely Twitter handle when it brought me in here, but
oh yeah, that's right. And the Strip Safely, as you're seeing above Bennett, is a different campaign, but it's all about meteor accuracy and safety and test strips, and we'll talk about that in another blab.
Yeah,
that's Strip Safely. It's not about the pants.
But that's another day for another $1.
Thank you, Bennett, very much.
See y'all, Scott. Good
night, thanks. Nice to see you too.
All right, so let's kick him out. All right, so we have another open seat. Lorraine, I see that you are still here, I think, kind of hanging out on the side. If you want to try to pop back in, we'd love to have you. You could hold up signs or semaphore.
I'm using this time to make myself aware of how this all works. So,
exactly, because this is a cool little social media platform. We should also know is that I am recording the Blab, which I think you can all see. Yes. on the left. And what supposedly will happen is that I will be able to put this on YouTube, and I will also get an MP3 so I can use it as a podcast.
Interesting.
I probably will not, only because the editing process of putting this as a podcast would be
you're thinking too much. You should just put it up like it is. Don't edit anything.
I think it's because of the, I'm in broadcasting still, but I was in it for 20 years. Podcasting to me is a nightmare because I have no producer, I have no engineer, I have no technical producer. And so I getting ready for this. I was a news anchor for 10 years on TV, and I was a radio host for 10 years. I was more nervous for this Blab because I had to plug everything in and figure out how to do it. And I'm letting people in and putting people over here and clapping on these little hands. And so that cracks me up because I can read the news all day long. That's easy. This stuff makes me laugh. So podcasting is hard to me because I like it to sound better than it does. But that'll come. It's a lot of fun.
I understand. Very cool. Very nice. Yeah, Lorraine, I can see where the recording.
Yeah, the recording is going. We'll see. Yeah, so Lorraine is reloading. Stephen quite enjoyed Bennett on the bike. And, we'll see. My plan is to keep this going for a little while longer. I'm going to check other social media because people said that if they couldn't come or they were having problems, they were going to message me there. Because I think a lot of people are a little nervous about Blab because of its really dumb name and because they've never done it before. No offense, blabbers, if you're listening.
And that's the other thing. Everybody wants it to sound better than it does, even when it. I have to say, on my end, it sounds fantastic.
I think he meant about podcasting.
Oh, mine sounds fantastic.
Yes, you are so funny.
There's nothing wrong with mine. Mine's perfect. I don't see a problem at all. I'm clear, and that's all that matters.
Yes, you are clear.
That's all.
It's a very interesting medium. I was surprised to find that there are 12 podcasters, 11 podcasters, and Danielle, who was here earlier, Diabetes Dominator, is a video vlogger. So there are 12 of us involved in Diabetes Podcast Week, and I was surprised that there were so many people doing podcasts, and I think it's only going to grow from here. There are several Type 2 podcasts, obviously, but I invited them. I put the word out, but they didn't want to play in the sandbox this year. So we'll see.
Do they post consistently, these other ones, or are they more sporadic?
Well, I put out a wide net. I think many of the bigger ones post very sporadically. They put, if you look on iTunes and you kind of search around for diabetes podcasts, there are several that haven't posted in years that still show up near the top. And there are a lot of, what's interesting is there's a lot of medical journals that post podcasts for medical professionals. So if you listen to some of those, it's really interesting, but it's nothing like what we do. It's more very much
I think though, if you don't mind me sounding like I'm being
Get on the
for a second. Right.
Right.
No, not like that. I'm just saying, like, when you really look through, when you go into, I don't know, whatever your category is, and go to top podcasts and run through the top 200 of them, these shows that pop up in the search are not in the top 200, like a lot of them. So, I mean, if you're top 200, if you're out of the top 200, how many people are listening? Honestly?
Oh, you mean on iTunes?
Yeah, it just can't be that many.
No, but that's where you were. It's an incomplete picture. Let me put it that way. Yeah, and Lorraine, yes, you can call in without earphones. I get 60%, just a little inside baseball, I get 60% of my listeners off of any podcast platform. They are listening purely through Facebook. They do not listen, because when you're in podcast land and you make people come to you in podcast land, most of our listeners who are frazzled and harried parents. Hazzled.
Is that a word? Wait, stop for a second. Let's not jump past that. Did you just invent a word?
I'm a professional broadcaster. I'm allowed to do that. Yeah.
I think Hazzled is now a word. I'm going with it.
They're not going to say, where's the podcasting thing? And they're not coming to podcast land. So
professional broadcaster.
Yeah. I need a producer. So what I have found, and I'm telling you all my secrets, is that it's much easier to bring the programming to them. So I probably I'm a weird podcast. I get 60% of my traffic from desktop, from people on a computer, not on mobile. Okay. And they are mostly coming from Facebook. So my iTunes traffic, I hit the top 200 sometimes, but I'm not consistently going to be there. And that's fine, because that's not where my listeners are. They're not seeking me out on iTunes. I'm bringing my show to them and they're listening to it.
Okay, so you don't think that number, because it's a kind of a magical thing that nobody talks about, but you don't think that number on iTunes is an aggregate of your RSS feed? You think it's just people who listen through iTunes?
Yes.
Okay.
I absolutely do. I don't know why they would know. How would iTunes know what is happening?
How do it know? Are you asking me how do it know?
Because
I think an RSS feed, no matter where it comes from, feeds back to the feed, and the feed gives you the data.
But the feed gives you the data. So where's your podcast hosted? Libsyn?
Yeah.
Libsyn knows your numbers.
Right.
And Libsyn will tell you how many are listening on iTunes. Why would iTunes know who's listening to you on Stitcher? Why would iTunes know who's listening?
It all comes through the RSS feed. So
but your RSS feed is not iTunes. Your RSS feed is Libsyn. I could be wrong.
That's the feed I use in iTunes.
Yes, that's the feed you use in iTunes. So
I also use it anywhere else. Right?
That's right, and that's why it all. If you look up here, you have iTunes, Stitcher, Facebook, blah blah. Mm-hmm. It all feeds back to Libsyn, and those are the people that know your numbers. These people, this person isn't talking to this person. It's all silos. Now, if I'm wrong, I'll come back and make a little note on that. But that
I don't know anything.
Lorraine, can you hear us? Oh, Lorraine, you're still mute.
It's so sad, Lorraine. It's 2016. You can't make the microphone work on your computer. What are you not doing?
Mean. Be welcome.
I know Lorraine well enough to be mean to her. Why are you not being able to make this microphone work? Is it plugged into the back? Is it muted?
Do you have a microphone, or are you just using the computer microphone? Hold up one finger for yes, 2 fingers for yes.
Hold up this. Go into the what's his name, into like the preferences of the computer. Look at let's
No, you do that. I'll talk to these people on the side. I have a mic, but I can't make the earbuds don't matter, because you should be able to hear through the computer. What microphone do you use for your podcasting?
This is not a good advertisement for your podcast, Lorraine.
Yeti. Is your Yeti plugged in? No, that's why you can't hear yourself. Stick the Yeti in the computer. Oh, you couldn't get it to work.
That's dirty. That sounded dirty, what you just said.
Wow.
I'm just telling you what I heard. That's all.
Okay, I could have made it more. I mean, we could get those clapper things going.
I'm now wondering about.
All right. Someone wants to know, is it better than Periscope? Do you Periscope, Scott?
I've seen it before. This is nicer. I mean, it seems more stable, and I like that people can come in and out. Like, this gives me an idea, but the people who read my blog are always asking if we can all talk together. This would be a way where a few people could do that.
Right.
And they could have it, except Lorraine.
The problem for some listeners is that you do have to have a Twitter account to participate. So you can watch without a Twitter account, but you can, my understanding.
Who owns this?
This is a standalone from people who left another company. I don't remember.
Oh, really?
Oops, Lorraine.
Let her go. She'll be all right. You haven't been drinking, have you, Lorraine? She'll figure it out. So,
yeah, you may be drinking after this.
I'm saying, Lorraine, is it a Mac? Not if it's a Mac. Okay, so if you go to the Apple and then System Preferences, and then Sound, all right, and then Input, what's the microphone that's set up? Is it internal? Internal's one finger, not internal's two fingers. System Preferences, Sound. Internal, is the volume put up? How about the output volume? Is that slid up a little bit? Hello, welcome to Apple Care.
Yeah, I'm a PC, so.
I love watching her talk and not being able to hear. I find it fascinating for some reason.
I go vault.
I don't know what she's saying. I like that she thinks I can see what she's saying. It's delightful. I don't understand.
Lorraine, what we'll do, I'm going to kick you out. We can definitely try again or to test it. Because that was my biggest fear about doing something like this, is that all of the, you'd come in here and no one could hear anything.
Yeah.
I'm really not an idiot. We know, Lorraine. It happens.
Well, no, see, you say we know, but we have no proof of that at the moment. And so.
Wow. It's tough. Yeah. Give a man a set of headphones. Do a test lab. Oh, this lovely person says to do a test lab in the test zone first. There's a test zone on Blab.
Lorraine can do that?
Yeah, we're banishing you to the test zone. Just Google. Go ahead. Get out of here and Google test zone, Blab test zone. That's how I find everything. I Google everything.
Unbelievable. I'm still focused on what you said earlier about the traffic.
Well, the other thing is, I think what's funny about podcasting is that we're really, your listeners don't care really how many people are listening. So I know it gets a little obsessive compulsive about that, but.
No, I get that. Yeah. I mean, I thought that iTunes was using the RSS feed. So anywhere that listens came in from it would be aware of.
No, it's not. It's that I'll check, but my understanding is that Libsyn, your host, is what aggregates all of those numbers, and that's if you're having sponsors or you're looking at things, that's what to look at. So iTunes is a really nice ego thing, but it's not really the whole universe. When Google gets into podcasting, because they're supposed to have that any minute now. We're all signed up and waiting to go with Google. They're going to have their own way of counting, and then we should see some differences. I don't know. So because iTunes is it right now.
So here's what I'm saying, because now that you're talking about it, and if you have nothing else to talk about, I'd be happy to talk about it. I'm seeing 62% of the listeners come from Apple Core Media, which is the podcast app that's native on iOS, and then I've got 5% from iTunes, and then there's I would say. The rest, with the exception of 10%, is coming from different, like 3 or 4 different browsers.
Okay.
All right. And so it looks like I would say 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, like 20% comes from browsers and 65% comes from iTunes, it seems.
Okay.
Like. That's what I'm saying. So you're seeing kind of opposite of that then.
Right. Because you link back, the way you have your stuff set up is you always link to iTunes.
Sometimes I do, but I also, for the people that follow me through Facebook, I usually let them go back to the blog because they seem more comfortable with that.
Right.
So that's how it seems to me, at least. But it's hard to know. You're in the dark doing it all. You know,
for a small consulting fee. No, my real advice is to reach more people. Do not make them come to you. Go to them.
Yeah. No. Sure. I mean, that makes sense.
That's what I would do, and that's what I've done. And because I have found, a lot of my listeners will say to me, and that's why I did a whole blog post called "That's Nice. What's a Podcast?" I mean,
I don't read
have a lot
other
of
people's blogs.
Yeah, I know. I'm in the information business, my friend, and I'm curious about everything. So when I do something, I go a little bananas, and that's one of the things I did. Is especially like my mother, who is a great consumer of all information. She said to me, "What is a podcast, and how do I get it, and how do I tell my friends about it?" And so I realized that if you can't explain it and send these people something where they live, they're not going to click over. They're not going to put, my aunt has an Android phone. How the heck is she going to find there is no native podcast app. And I got her all set up. She gave me a great review on iTunes, which is very helpful, or whatever, Stitcher, wherever she listens to it. But you got to go to them. And, that's what I'm finding. And cool. I like this guy who says we're like news reporters. I don't know what, I see kind of a name in there as Tommy. You're like news reporters. That's why we're enjoying this. We have our microphones and, we play news reporters. I don't know for the timing of this on the Iowa caucus night and the week of the Super Bowl, when I have I can't believe it took me this long. I have my Panthers cup. We are here in Charlotte, North Carolina. Look at this. This is the coolest thing. So I used to be, where is it? I used to be on the air here for a very long time. Okay. So it says Sims. Can you see? I know it's terrible, that picture. This was a promotion they did several years ago for charity. It was awesome. So you get your name on a cup, and I kept it for all these years.
All right, enjoy this 1 year where your football team's going to be any good. That's fine.
Where do you live? What's your team?
I said enjoy the.
I heard you. Where are you?
From Philadelphia, I guess. So I'm right in between Philly and New York, so it's hard to.
I like how you said doesn't matter, but you'll trash talk my team.
What do I care? I'm just telling you. My hair's getting puffy while we're sitting here. I need a haircut. That's what this Blab has taught me. I need a haircut.
That's great. Well, that's one of the problems when you do audio. I think when you start doing video. I don't like to Skype people on video because they'll ask me sometimes, "Oh, can I put video on? I know we're just chatting." Because they'll be like this.
I always say no. They're like, "Is there going to be video?" I'm like, "Absolutely not." I lie and I say it's bad for the bandwidth because I don't want to be on video. Just like no.
I tell people because it's very distracting.
It does freak me out to be able to see you. Actually, like I don't like this at all. Not because of you. Not because of you. Because
Danielle, yes. Have you been here the whole time? Come back in.
Why have you been so mean to Danielle? This is terrible.
It's Danielle. She's a girl.
That's why you were mean to her?
No, but you said Danielle.
I did not. You can't hear me through you because you're not wearing headphones. You should be wearing headphones so you can
I
hear
have headphones. Look. I don't have my here.
All right.
See, for the camera, we don't use the big industrial ones.
Oh, my God. This is all I had. I just plugged them right in.
The option to join is gone. Wait. How do I unlock?
So when am I supposed to put my podcast up about sparrows? Was that today?
Dude, you're like the kid in the class who doesn't bring their homework.
I'm getting to it. I'll get it done this week.
This week.
I'll do it this week.
Hey.
Week.
I don't know what happened. The option to join just wasn't there anymore. I was enjoying your banter.
Boy. Well, we're glad
Stacey's
you're here.
delightful.
Yes, and Scott's tolerable. Danielle, tell me about so we've been talking a lot of technical stuff. How do you do your stuff when you talk to people? You don't do Skype, right? You do Google Hangouts?
No, I do Google Hangouts, which I found to be super user-friendly. I mean, luckily I'm married to an amazing tech guy who works for the Department of Defense. So I get like the utmost tech support in the world, luckily. Google Hangouts, it's easy. I'd say out of almost 50 interviews, I probably had 2 technical difficulties, and that was just someone had to reopen it in a different browser. And it's really simple and uploads directly to YouTube. And all I have to do is publish it. There's a lot of annotating and other little background stuff to do, but it's really simple. I like it.
That's great. I just tried to answer a question and I did it wrong. Sorry.
Danielle, would you say if I had a group of people that read my blog that wanted to all talk about the same thing, is Google Hangout the way to do it?
yes, you can definitely do it. Google Hangout, you can have multiple people in there. I don't know how many people you can have at once, but I think it's actually very similar to this, where you can have a forum on the side where people can ask questions or you can invite specific people to join the call. I don't know if any person can just join the call, kind of like here, or whether you get to admit or deny them. But no, I think that Google Hangouts is if you want to record it and have an easy way to share it, I'm a big fan. And
That's interesting to think about the difference between Google Hangout and this, because I did a Skype chat recently with a lot of people, and it was okay, but there wasn't as much flexibility.
Right. Yeah, I use Skype for calls, like for client calls, but I think for recording, it just was never. I tried it in the beginning and it wasn't user friendly. I had to download another app I can't even remember what it was called, to record video and have it integrated. And I was like, it's getting a little bit too many steps for my liking.
Yeah, that's great. And Scott, what are you laughing at?
It's Arden. She's standing next to me. She wants to hold things in front of the camera. That's all. Sorry.
No, that's great. My son is downstairs probably eating pizza. I mean, I don't even know.
And you saw my cat earlier, so.
Yeah, your cat walked by. It was great. It was great. No, I'm in my little bonus room, and I lock myself in here and, try to not let anybody in. But I need to work on the lighting, and I need like a thing over my shoulder. I need like a little graphic, like I used to have in TV. Remember that? Like,
yeah, like a cat hanging there
or something.
Yeah. Please do that. Please do that.
I will.
Did you bolus when I asked you?
Yeah, and I just ate chips. So
did you bolus too?
I met my husband at a TV station because he was a newscast director and I was on the air, and so he could make me one of those thingies. I mean, it wouldn't be real. I'm not going to have real graphics, but we could fake a sign over my shoulder.
I definitely think so.
That would be hysterical.
Yeah,
very cool. And Danielle, your Diabetes Podcast Week episode is later this week.
Yeah, actually, I was going to refer to you as the expert since I'm just kind of participating for the first time this year. I have the video ready to go. I could release it tomorrow or Wednesday. I just saw, I saw Carrie release hers today and I shared it. So I'm just I'm going to try to post something about it every day, whether it's mine or sharing somebody else's post.
Oh, that's great.
For the Spare a Rose awareness, because really my goal is to try to get the donations kind of blown out of the water from the previous years, because I think as more people join and the more people we urge to share the message, just the reach will go out. And, for $5, for me, that's just like a no-brainer. If you can give $5 and give a child life for a month, I mean, that's like, okay.
Yeah, that's
a no-brainer. So I want to just share a lot and get people to share.
When you release that video, we'll put it out as well. There's a blog post at staceysims.com that lists everybody who's involved. And if I know the date or the content, I'll put that out there. But there's a link to everybody's stuff. So release that whenever you want and let me know. And that's good stuff. And Scott, whenever you're done, let us know. We'll put that up.
When it occurs to me, I put it up. I'll let you know. And that'll be it.
And my episode goes tomorrow morning. Early tomorrow morning, my episode later. Yeah.
So I was thinking maybe Wednesday. Carrie did Monday, you're doing Tuesday, I'll do Wednesday. I'll share yours tomorrow, and we'll just I'm all about the cross sharing and pollination and all that, because it's a great cause.
Cool.
Very nice.
What I did this week, which was interesting for me, is I incorporated a listener into my show with guests, which was, like I had said earlier, the technical aspect of doing all this freaks me out. And that was really crazy because I had my guests and then we brought in a listener. Then we said goodbye, and we brought in and we said goodbye and we did like a game show kind of thing. So it was really fun, but it was, we'll see how it sounds when all is said and done. That's tomorrow.
I think it'll be good.
Yeah, why not? So I see Scott is chatting over there with Lorraine. She didn't get back to you offline or not, if she's coming back.
She didn't say anything, no.
All right.
No, I think she gave up.
Sorry, she says. So why don't we, I think it's just the three of us. She's still trying. Lorraine, I think I'm going to wrap it up in just a couple of minutes. So I'll give you another minute. Danielle's got to go to dinner. Scott's got to, are you making dinner or you already made dinner?
I got to fold laundry.
He's got to fold laundry. I knew there was
I think all the people in tonight, Scott and Bennett and myself, are all within like a very small radius of each other.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think you're in Jersey.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm in Philly, and
Bennett's over that way too. Yeah, no, I know.
Did I mention
we don't even need
that
this
I'm
technology.
in North Carolina with the?
No one cares. It doesn't matter. Give another football to a little kid. No one cares. Stop it. He's got to stop with it. It's contrived at this point.
Oh, so here's
something looking.
Here's a funny controversy about the Panthers. Should Cam give the footballs away if he he scores a touchdown, gives football to little kids? He does it all the time. Should he do that at the Super Bowl, or should he save the Super Bowl footballs to bring home for kids in Charlotte?
Oh, I don't care.
Question.
I think either way, it's gonna.
I think he's got to do it there. He's got to give it to a little kid in a jersey there. Yeah. All right, everybody's. Lorraine is saying good night. Lorraine is one of the hosts of what was DSMA Rents and is now Diabetes Out Loud. Stephen, who tried? I'm sorry. Stephen is Diabetes by the Numbers. You know what? I'm going to give him a little promo. Let me just see.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Diabetes by the Numbers. His show is going to be airing tomorrow. Is going to be. What do we say for podcasts? I always say going live or drops or airs. I don't know what to say. It's not like a live. Most of the time on a live show. What do you say when your show comes out?
I just say I'm releasing an interview. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it matters.
Say anything.
You don't say anything.
I don't say anything. No, I just put up some sort of social media thing with a link and I'm done.
All right. Stephen has Merle Gleason talking about living with T1D for 52 years, and she is the founder and CEO of the Type 1 Diabetes Lounge in Chicago. So, Stephen, that sounds like a cool show, and we'll get that out there. I think I'm trying to make podcasting fit into the broadcasting box, and that may not work. We'll see.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Can I build my new I should build my
Just
little
throw it up. Someone will find it or they won't, and that'll be the end of it.
Oh, my goodness. I love it. Well, thank you so much, everybody, for joining me. We've got people, I think when we record this, I'm hoping people can see the messages on the side as well. And if not,
that'd be interesting.
Yeah, if not, everybody's saying good night and they wish us good luck and all that good stuff. And so I think we should do this again in a couple of weeks. We'll come back and revisit, and we'll maybe know what we're doing a little bit better, and we'll have some fun. Yes, no?
Cool. Thanks for having us.
You'll say yes, and then when I do it, it'll be me in these little boxes all by myself.
I'm saying yes, but I'm nodding my head no. It's subliminal.
Click.
So
click.
Yeah.
Click.
Oh, sure, Stacey. Yeah, let's do that again. Great. Well, I really do appreciate it.
Very nice.
Have a good night.
All right. Good night, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Bye. And that'll do it. I'm going to press pause and stop and hope that this actually recorded. We'll play it back somewhere if somebody wants to watch it. But I think it was a pretty good experiment for our first Blab on Diabetes Podcast Week. And we'll do it again. But again, go to, as I said earlier, StaceySims.com has the link to the post with all of the participating shows. And diabetes-connections.com is my show, which also has a link to the shows that are participating and as well to sparearose.org, which is where you can go to learn more and to make a donation. Thanks so much for joining us.